Right, welcome back to the final of the pre-recorded videos. This one might seem a bit weird. I'm definitely not running out of ideas right now. No, wait, no, wait, no, wait, no. Okay, I think this needs some explanation anyway. Croatia is a country I've always sort of felt attached to, and that's weird for a number of reasons. One, I have no relation to that country at all. I have no family from there. I'm not from there. Obviously, I'm British, as you can probably tell. Hopefully, I come across as a nice, strong British accent. Uh, but I think the reason why I like Croatia so much is because what they represent in a footballing sense, it's exactly what my club stands for, to dare to do. Really, it's punching above your weight to such a level and backing it up. I mean, sure, the Euros maybe they haven't played too well, but the World Cup, that's a World Cup final and a World Cup semi final back to back for a country, by the way, which has like 4 million people. And that might even be too much. I think it's like 3 point something, which is, by the way, that's mental. That is mental. And they've still, by the way, this video is mainly to show they have a future. I promise you, the Croatian national team has a future. I had to put under 21, so I had to miss out on a few. Cavallina and Gvardio are not going to be on this list because they are both 22. Cavallina you won't have heard of, but Gvardio obviously you probably have of. Cavallina is a pretty good goalkeeper. I have to defend a bit on Twitter recently. But I wish I could put him on here, but I can't. Anyway, enough talking. We'll get into this because I'm a bit tired, to be honest with you. But I'm doing it anyway because I need to get this done and then I'm done. This is so 10th is Noah Mikic. Now, Noah Mikic is a really interesting player. He's not really that established yet at Dinamo. That's what you got to remember about Noah Mikic. I think give it time, he will emerge, but he's only 17. He's going to take some time. I think this season could be a breakout year for him. I think you'll see a real talented player come out and emerge. He's a very good right back. There's two right backs on this list actually, but I only put him on here as the 10th is more of an honourable mention than anything else because he isn't really established yet, but I do think he's very talented and I think he'll be a very good player soon. But he hasn't shown it just yet, but apart from like underage level. But soon he will. 9th is Nico Segura. Now Nico Segura is an interesting one. He's actually born in Canada, but is declared for Croatia at a youth level. I'm not sure if he's gonna fall through with that, but it depends. Maybe Canada will from him. Well, you'd expect it because they're a shit. They're a worse side, not shit. It's not. They're not completely terrible, but they're a worse side than Croatia. So you'd assume maybe they might call him up before Croatia does. But I also think if he stays a bit longer, he will get a Croatia future. Quite a versatile player. But played quite a lot for Hajduk last season. For his age, I think he's 19. Yeah, I think 19 or 20. As I say, versatile, got a lot of room to grow, and soon he's going to be talked about a lot more. I think this season again could be another breakout campaign for him, really establishing himself as one of those players which the Croatian league has developed quite well and moved on to perhaps like maybe like Salzburg or a lower team Bundesliga Serie A side, yeah, like a Spanish side, I guess. But it's usually Bundesliga for Croatian players to move to. Sometimes it's like a German player who's born there but has links to Croatia, so decides to declare for Croatia. Like I think Smolcic is like that. No, it's Vidovic I'm thinking about. I think Vidovic, yes. Oh fuck! I just realized Vidovic isn't on here. I would have put Vidovic on here, by the way. I fucked that up. Vidovic, yeah, oh fuck, I fucked it up real bad. You can tell, man, I'm losing my sleep here. Fuck. Just pretend I talked about Vidovic and said the reason why he wasn't on here is because he scored against us in the preseason friendly. Yeah, that's it. That's actually the reason why. Fuck it, yeah. This is all planned. None of this is off script at all. I have a script. I'm using it. And 8th is Rocco Simic. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and say Rocco Simic is exactly gonna be the next Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, he scored like 5 goals last season for Salzburg, which isn't exactly great. So I'm not going to sit here and say, as I say, he's amazing, but he is talented. He has I think he played for Lokomotiva in the Croatian league. He was pretty good there. I think he scored over 10 league goals, something like that. Got him his move to Salzburg anyway. I think he's actually getting to Sunderland, which is a very interesting transfer if that's true. If he goes there and does well, by all means, he deserves to be on here because he does have potential and talent. I'm just hoping he'll utilize it a bit more and get his output up higher, because if he can, he could turn into a real beast. He really could. Moving on to 7th with Luka Probanic. Less established than, apart from like Noah Mikic, more established than Noah Mikic, I would say. Centre midfielder, young. I mean, Croatia love their centre midfielders, don't they? There's a ton on here. But he's a good player. I think he has a very good future. Dynamo, he's probably the one I have the least to say about. He's a ginger, which is interesting. There's not many of them. Nothing terribly wrong with that. It's just the only interesting thing I can think of, really. Very decent potential, but there's something I don't know enough about him. I know most of these guys much more than Probanic, to be honest. So sorry. Stick with Oliver Lukic. Okay, this is the only other one I don't actually know that well. He's a little bit less established. He's a little bit probably more established than the other two, actually, because he does play for like Salzburg's B team, which is Life Bring, I think it's called, in the in the Austrian League 2, not the Bundesliga 2, Austrian League 2. Yeah, he's pretty talented. He's not much more to say, really. I think he got named in the Guardians. I don't know, it's the Guardian, but still, like 2006 born, top 50 best 2006 born talent, which is, is not a bad thing to be recognized as. Even if it's not necessarily the biggest footballing article in the world, it's still pretty cool. Apart from that, look, I can't. Some of these players are here to fill that out a bit more. That doesn't mean they're not necessarily That doesn't mean necessarily they don't have high potential. I would recommend looking into some of these players a bit more. But this video is more of a general introduction, if you will. And then, if you're interested, you can look into a few players more. I have more information about the rest of these players. Trust me. It's just these two I kind of put on here because I thought I needed to. Maro Perkovic, I know more about. He's had an injury recently. I think it's a cruciate. No, it was a hamstring, I think it was. But he's a 21-year-old centre back who plays for Dynamo, left-footed, which is very, very helpful. And for me, he is probably the most established player on this list. No, probably the second most established player on this list, behind someone else who can come a bit later. I think he's going to have he's going to very soon to be called up to the Croatian national team. He was a Dinamo regular, really, last season. And he is going to really kick on this year, I think. Just you watch. 4th is Martin Baturina. Now, usually when people think of Croatian-minded kids, you might think of Baturina right now, because when he was a bit younger, he was hyped up more. I would agree. And honestly, if you talked to me a year ago, I would have said he's probably the best talent Croatia have in terms of a youth player. He's not. I really rate the lad, but he's not their best youth talent. He really isn't. There's a few more players which are they've been better, really. Doesn't mean he's not talented, but he needs to have a better output, really, in the Croatian first division before he gets a move away, because I don't think he's ready, and I think he's still getting linked to moves which he's not ready to make. He really isn't. I think another year and then getting a move when he's 21, 22, that will suit him really well. So hopefully that will happen, and he'll do well. But I do rate him as a player. I don't think this comes too mean, but he needs more time, and he needs to really show why he's good. Because otherwise his youth is gonna slip away. It's a bit mean to say, but his youth, like, hype, is gonna slip away, and it's gonna be harder to re-establish yourself in a league which isn't exactly the best. So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, third is Marin Sodicek, right winger / left winger, Lokomotiva previously. I think now he's moved to Basel, which is a very good move from him. Hopefully he'll do well there. Young, I think he's 18, 19. Very, very tricky, fast, pacey winger. Again, I mean, I have a lot to say about Marin Sudicek, but I don't want this going on too long. It's more of it. But he's a very, very talented player. Pretty good goal and assist contribution last season. Played really well for Lokomotiva, actually. I did catch a few of their games, mostly late on, but I did catch a few of them. Very, very decent player, with a bright future, I think. The next one is the most established player on this list, which is Luka Sušić. Now, I shouldn't say third. I apologize for that. there's always gonna be mistakes in these videos because I'm doing this half fucking sleep deprived. Lovely, it's a great idea, by the way. No, it's not. Lucas Suchek is he's probably the, as I say, most established player. I remember him mainly at the Euros, where he came on against Italy. I think it was. No, it was. No, what I remember, he came on against Albania, and he looked really, really bright. He did. I think he also came on against Italy. He was pretty good there, but the Albania was what I'm really talking about. Been at Salzburg for a few years now. Been very good for them. Got moved to Real San Sebastian in the Spanish First Division. Could be a very, very promising career ahead of him. I really do think he's probably, as I said, the most established player. And if it wasn't for a bit of bias, he'd probably be number one. But he's not, because number one is Luka Vuskovic, the two Lukas. I know we kind of, Spurs as a fan base, we've completely forgotten this guy exists. But a reminder, he does, and he's brilliant. He's 6'4", 6'5", I think he is. I mean, look at that in that picture. He looks fucking ginormous. Absolute monster as centre back. He's going to grow massively. Could be probably Croatia's best ever centre back by the time it's done. I mean, I'm saying that as Gvardiol exists, I know, but to be fair, recently Gvardiol's played more of a left back, so hey, I'm just saying. But anyway, Vuskovic is a brilliant player, and I think hopefully when he joins, he's going to be prepared and he's going to be ready, and he can start right away. He's going to join, I think, next summer, because this summer technically isn't over, so next summer. So hopefully he'll join and do well, but it might be the season after. I'm not sure. But regardless, that is the video. I appreciate you watching. If you've made it all this way, I don't know quite why, but I really appreciate it. So thank you. And with that all said and done, I hopefully will see you in the next one. One more thing, I usually say this before, but I'm more active on Twitter in case you care. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter, or if you found this video instead of coming from Twitter directly, which is interesting, because I'm not sure how the algorithm works entirely, so maybe that's possible, I don't know. Follow me on there. It's linked in the description. I'm more active there than I am here, so yeah. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.